Everybody, welcome to Monday. I gotta put these on so I can say hello to the people. But welcome. We're gonna do a little on this date. We're gonna talk about the Cardinals. I got my little Bob Gibson jersey on here to talk baseball with you folks. If you want to talk baseball, Cardinals are gonna take on Jack Flaherty and the Tigers this week, so that should be interesting. But we had one person waiting. I don't know who was waiting. I'm looking forward to seeing who is here and waiting. It's Howard Stern on this date. This is what we do. We come in and we talk about things that happened on this date. Today is Jerry Seinfeld's birthday. Happy birthday, Jerry. 70 years old? Can you hear that? Sparky's not with me today, my co-host. I love Sparky, but he is, I think Mommy is taking care of him. I think. It's always like when I have to, I like to schedule these things, and then you schedule them and things come up. So hello and welcome. Thank you for coming to the Howard Stern on this date. I was going to talk about the Biden interview. Did anybody listen to that? Did anybody hear it? We'll talk about that. Once the comments get going here on the live feed, we'll put those on the tape feed. There's Lance. And you'll see your comments and your name come up, and we'll talk about what people are talking about. But we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do on this date as we always do. Welcome if you haven't seen me before. Talking some Cardinal baseball. A big interview happened over the weekend with Joe Biden and this Howard, and so I didn't listen to a lot of it. I tried. I couldn't get through it. I got to put these in. Yes, say hello to the people. And Bill, I almost burped right here on camera. It's so weird. Hi, Brad and all. So let's do roll call. Where's everybody from? What's everybody doing? We got folks coming into the live stream, and I welcome you all, and I'm appreciative that you're here. And again, as you can see today, if you're watching the tape stream, you'll get to see the comments as they happen. Hey, King Doopy. Hey, Brad, how's Sparky? He says. Hello, Doopy. So thank you for asking about Sparky. Sparky's doing better. It was touch and go, I would say, the last week. Sparky is resting. Sparky had his 4th blood transfusion last Friday, and the doctor didn't seem to think this one was going to go so well. She came back and said, "We've got unbelievable news. Sparky's regenerating. His blood is regenerating, and so that's a good sign." So he's been home the whole week. Didn't go into the hospital last weekend. And he seems to be doing better. So I thank you for asking King Doopy how Sparky's doing. He is my co-host. Figured he might just want to nap today. He's upstairs with Mommy. Mommy's not feeling good today, though. So that's not good in the house. But Mommy's not feeling good. Nobody's doing good. But I thank you for asking. And please join in and say hello if you're in the comments. And what we do here, again, is we look back at moments on this date from the show. Moments from the top 40 countdowns. We do birthdays. It was, like I said, it's Jerry Seinfeld's birthday today. And we talk about the show, the Stern Show, what's been happening on the show. He did a live show today, and they talked about all the things it took to get Joe Biden, the president, into the studio. I thought it was interesting, too, that Howard said he flew from Florida to New York. So I didn't realize I assumed he does a lot of his shows from Florida. I didn't realize he was always in Florida. Lance says, glad Sparky is on the up and up. Thank you, Lance. I know a lot of people come here and they see my co-host Sparky. He started co-hosting a couple weeks ago, and that's right when he started not feeling well. So I'm wondering if it was this YouTube live stream that was kind of irritating him. I don't think that's the case, though. So while we wait for folks to come in and, again, comment and say hello and be part of the show today, and you can comment and be part of the show. I always just stop down and look at the comments, but we like to do a little on this date. I started looking at other years. I know I'd like to do the 80s, but let's just back up to 1997. And this week, the #1 song in the country, drum roll, I'm Casey Kasem, back to the countdown, #1. By the way, there's someone posting all these Casey Kasem top 40s from my youth, and I love it. There's one from like December of 1983, and I'm like, this is the best music of all time. December of 1983, best countdown. Anyway, #1 on this date in 1997 was "I Want You" by Savage Garden. That's that one that kind of like a cherry cola. That song was #1 for 2 weeks in a row. It replaced All by Myself by Celine Dion. I don't know that song. That's the number one song in 1997. Any request of songs? You know what? I thought this was interesting because 1994. I'll give out some interesting stuff here. By the way, I'm wearing my Cardinals Bob Gibson shirt. And as people come in, I like to say thank you for coming in. I haven't done live in a while, and that's my fault. We want to build a community, but dog has been sick. Timing hasn't been great. I try to schedule these, and then of course I put it out there, and then shit happens, and I can't get on and do this thing live. So I don't know if I'm gonna schedule them anymore. I might just pop it, pop in. Anyway, I was looking at 1984, and that's the year I graduated high school. Can you believe that? This young guy, 30 years ago, this month, basically, May, I would say, graduated high school. Only took me 7 years. But the number one song in 1994 of this week, Mr. Jones by Counting Crows. I hate that song. That's why I hated high school, and I hate that song. That song reminds me of high school, and I hate it. But Mr. Jones, Counting Crows, number one song, and it was only number one for 1 week. It replaced Bump and Grind by R. Kelly, which replaced Mariah Carey's Without You. So 1994, a terrible year in music, evidently, as told here by the top songs on this date in 1994. Let's see, what else? We're going to talk about some birthdays. So Jerry Seinfeld, we mentioned this. It's his birthday. He was born in 1954, making him 70 years old, so happy birthday. Again, please comment and say hello, because that's how this works. I like to come in and just talk, and then if I see comments, I'll start answering questions and comments. Hello, Colfin. You say, yo, Coffin Crew. So it sounds like you might be into, like, kind of cremation, Coffin Crew. Well, welcome in. Thank you for coming and say hello. Let's do roll call. We got 21 folks popping in now. Thank you for everybody for joining. Again, if you're watching this live, I comment on what people say here. And now on tape, we're going to see the comments on the screen. So you're going to see who I'm talking to. Hello there, Sig Rooster. Talk about how Stern turned on his fans and shit on them with his liberal views. Okay, that is true. It is interesting. Like this whole, it was, you know what I found interesting today? So if you are just joining, he interviewed Joe Biden. Howard did Friday. It was a pop-up show. And let me just be frank here. I'm not a real big fan of any politician. Left, right, middle, central, whatever. I don't like them all. So I have no skin in the game. Joe Biden is just very old and very boring in my opinion. And, but he did today, Howard he read actual critical emails. I was shocked. Like people that emailed them and said, Howard, this is terrible, blah, blah, blah. I was surprised that Howard actually read the emails of people that did not like the Joe Biden interview. So I heard that today, and I thought I would report that out to you. I'm listening to the show, so you don't have to. And trust me, I've been told don't get negative about the show. That's what someone said here in the comments. So I like to listen to the folks who come in and comment. Now let's get the comments going. Come on in. Tell me what you want to talk about. Again, thank you for coming in. This is the live show where I do a little Howard on this date. We talk a little sports. We talk a little pop culture. We look back at other things that happened on this date. I was just looking at the top music in 1994, which is the year I graduated from high school. If you are an American, you have skin in the game. Thank you, sir. I do have skin in the game. But do you trust any politicians? I mean, the whole system's corrupt, okay? So if, yes, I'm an American. I have a skin in the game. But it's not something I really sit and talk about all day. I never talked about this when I was in my 20s or 30s. So why is everyone talking about it now? That's what I don't understand how everybody got so excited about politics in the past 8 years. When no one talked about it back when I was in my 20s or 30s. Now, like my stepson upstairs, like talks about it with his buddies and the TikTok, and I'm like, God, what a mess. Stern, Biden, yikes, not a shocker, says King 5150 Ed. Well, I have to believe you're an Eddie Van Halen fan. Welcome, King. Thank you for joining. It was interesting too that he said that he got the interview with help from Hillary Clinton. I have to be honest. I thought the Hillary Clinton interview did not bore me. How long ago was that too? It wasn't terrible. I'm not a fan of hers, of course. But this thing I listened to just like the first couple minutes, and then the clips they put out of the Biden one, and I'm like, man, oh man, this is 2 people over 70 boring the shit out of everybody. Hello, Lance. The Trump effect, and we are getting older and in social media, and add in social media. Yes, this is why politics has become a thing. Well, I'm not going to be part of it. I don't watch any quote news because it's not news. It's all infotainment. It's for your side and you enjoy it. I didn't want to talk politics today. That's not why I came in. Of course, Howard did interview the president of the United States. So I guess I figured we'd talk a little bit about that. But we can do a roll call too. I love to hear where people are from, and I love people saying hello. Brian says, I emailed Howard. I was more pissed he didn't announce the interview. Fox News reported that Howard was going to interview Biden the day before. The fact that they knew and his fans didn't is a joke. Yeah, it was interesting. He didn't. I mean, they said that they couldn't tell because of Secret Service or whatever. But yeah, Fox News is reporting it. Then why wouldn't they put that out there? King, I agree about the over-the-top politics stuff. It's exhausting. This is a new term that I like too. I like exhausting. Everything is exhausting. But I will say, the politics stuff is exhausting. But is it getting darker? What's going on here? Did I lose light somewhere? I feel like the light got dark. Did it get darker where you are? I don't know. When Howard became, this is Lone Wolf. Hello, Lone. When Howard became an extension for the Democratic Party, I canceled immediately. I love all these people. I canceled my subscription. That's their way of getting back at Howard. I canceled my subscription. I always cancel my subscription. Like, there's always ways of getting the free subscription, and that's what's so funny. I don't think I've ever paid for this. I paid in 2006 when I'm like, I have to hear what's going to happen when they move to Sirius, and I paid, I think, for a year, and then found download torrent sites, and I'm like, I don't need to pay for this stuff. Mr. Mofongo, better late than never, he says. What are we talking about? Tell me what you're saying, but thank you for joining. These are some of my favorite folks. They come in and they're here a lot. Lance and Mr. Mofongo and King Doofy. They are big supporters of the channel. I thank you guys for coming. Again, we do this live. We're going to try to do it again. We're going to try to do it once, twice, 3 times a week at this time. Don't quote me on that because, life happens. But then I put the version on tape, and now you can see the comments hopefully on the side there as I comment, and we just have a good old time talking about the show. I look back at, let's stop with all this nonsense of politics talk. You know what the #1 song in 1985 was? Does anyone want to take a guess? The #1 song on this date for the 5th week in a row, because I did this a couple weeks ago. We Are the World, still at #1, USA for Africa. And just in case you're wondering, who could have knocked off the USA for Africa? And it was Madonna, Crazy for You. So that was the #1 song, 5 weeks in a row in 1985. Hello, King. You hear anything more about Cabbie passing? No, I did not. I mean, I think what I heard was kind of a massive heart attack. I mean, and I didn't talk to anybody, but I just, read probably what everyone else read, and I was sad. If you've not heard me talk about Cabbie before, Cabbie came on the show twice. I tried to get him on for 5 years after. Well, when did I start doing these? 2020. So right away, I'm like, I got to get Cabbie. And he was in a hospital, and he was not doing well. He was in a VA hospital, and things were going bad. And I think, may have had some mental issues too. But I got to say, when I interviewed him twice, I really enjoyed him. And he was very super nice, and we had conversations off the phone or off the podcast. And so I was sad about that. I was. And he asked about how my mom was doing when she was sick. So felt really bad about Cabbie passing, honestly. He wanted me to partner with him. He supposedly had some tape that he always talked about, and he wanted me to partner with him, and I was not interested in that. Hello, Forbin. Forbin says the problem with most politics talk is people cheerlead their guy like it's a sport. Policy and how government is run get thrown aside in lieu of name calling. So much for critical thinking. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that people. Just tell me the thing, and I'll think about it to the left or the right. I'm not gonna just be abortion bad, whatever. I don't care. Michael, who cares what his political views are? He's allowed his own views. I'm Republican, and it doesn't bother me. I guess hopefully that's what you're talking about, Howard. But thank you for joining, and yeah, I can't believe how angry people were. Hello, Wild. Wild says, I can't believe how angry people were. Howard had the POTUS on his show. More from Wild. Howard had Trump on for years, and we loved it. Who cares that Biden is on? Well, that's yeah. I mean, it's just I think it's cool for Howard to have the president on. I mean, I think the the office has been tainted, so it's not like back in the days when like Reagan would show up at the baseball game. In my opinion, when I was a kid, but maybe the office doesn't need to be so like, oh my God, there's Ronald Reagan. By the way, I met President Obama. I met President Clinton. Did I meet any other ones? Let me think here. Did I meet Biden? Maybe. Now that I think about it, I went with the Cardinals because I worked with the Cardinals, or for the television station that ran the Cardinals games. And when the Cardinals won the World Series, they went to the White House, and I was there. I went to the White House, met Obama. Nice fella, nice fella. Let's see here, Mr. Mafungo. Your reaction to Cabbie's offer to be your partner was hilarious. I could tell it made you uneasy. Did I do that on the? Did I think I did it in the podcast. Well, we had more conversations off the air after the podcast, and he was trying to. Well, I was going to help him like set up a podcast, and I said, listen, I'll help you in any way, but I have no desire to be associated with the tape or put it on my channel. So I think he got that, but I liked Cappy. I enjoyed him. But thank you, Mr. Fungo. I'm glad you saw that. I'm just looking at the comments here. So appreciate people coming in. So again, products, you can take a look at my product list. They're all kind of Howard centric. There's some fun Beetlejuice stuff in there. I'm actually thinking of buying this Beetlejuice throw pillow, but you can see that in my products. Check out my description for my shirt shop. We do super thanks. Hey, we do that. Sparky's bills are getting up there. So I appreciate when people come in and say, hey, Brad, thanks for being here. Here's some super chats or super thanks. So that's part of it. I also do memberships. And if we get a lot of folks here in for the memberships, we'll figure out a fun way to get people involved with the memberships. But all those things are available. You can go in and check out my description and see how to be part of that. Lance says, your interview with Cabbie was awesome. Good dude in his way. Thank you very much. Yeah, I enjoyed Cabbie a lot. We talked about Cabbie a lot in the last, I think, live time because he had just passed. But I'm still, yeah, it's just kind of sad when these people, he was doing okay from what I knew. I can't remember the last time we actually conversated. Well, what I did that podcast with, the last podcast I did with him was the beginning of last year, 2023. So, hello, Forbin. Howard has a show to run. Getting a big name to interview is the name of the game. Thanks, ST Weekly, for all the clips you upload. I wish people wouldn't hate on Jackie as if liking him is anti-Howard. Right, and that is Forbin Colossus. I love these names. Thank you, Forbin, and I appreciate. So I know a lot of people, I get a lot of shit for uploading kind of old interviews or repurposing, which is the word I like to use. I like to repurpose because one, some of the stuff's way old and a lot of people, they don't go search that stuff. So that's one. Two, I am kind of giving you the best of now, kind of that's what I've been doing here in April and I'll probably do it in May. And three, it, gives me more subscribers. Not everybody was here. Hi, Charlie Don't Surf. Hello, good to see you. Thanks for streaming. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you for coming and thank you for saying what you've said there. I appreciate when people come and enjoy these. What I said earlier, if you weren't here, I know we're picking up more people as the hour moves on. Had some dog trouble. My co-host has been very ill, but seems to be on the up and up, which is crazy. I mean, we were like, what are we gonna do? Like, and then they came back and said he's okay. So I haven't been able to come back here. I like to schedule these so you can see that it's gonna happen. But part of me thinks maybe it's easier just to go live, and I don't know. What do you think? Should I schedule them? Is it easier when I schedule these, or is it just better just to go live whenever? Because I could just go on at 6 o'clock instead of 4. I don't know. You guys tell me. Charlie Don't Surf, hit the like button, lurkers. Yes, please like, subscribe, turn on the notifications because that's when you'll know I'm live. I don't speak Spanish, Juana. Let me try though. Cuya idiomo habias, yo no sé, si me entiendes. I don't know. I did take 3 years of Spanish in high school and didn't do well. Didn't retain much of it. Steve, hello, Steve. Howard is a sellout right now. Glad someone is showing what he used to be. Okay, Steve. Stu. Hi, Stu. Jerry Sandusky. I'm not gonna read that. You can see the comment on the taped version. You'll see all the comments kind of running through, but I'm not going to read what you said about Stuttering John there. But I don't know. Let's spin the top. Mr. Mafungo, a schedule would work better. Build your numbers. Yeah, I mean, we'll try that. I know Mondays at 4 is going to be a good day for me. So 4 p.m. Central. I got to figure out the rest of the week because things get a little hairy. And like I said, the dog thing. But I plan on coming here definitely on Mondays. Wednesdays? Maybe Thursdays. How about Monday and Thursdays? We'll think about it. Think about it. All right. But thank you, Mr. Mafungo. Hello, King. Does Stern still have big ratings? He has become everything he hated. I left shortly after Artie. I don't even think there are ratings at Sirius. I think that's like you don't need ratings because you get subscriptions, supposedly. So I don't know what ratings are in Sirius. I'm going to guess they're not good. I'm going to guess if he was on terrestrial radio, they'd be very bad. Because don't people listen to podcasts now? Do you need to? I mean, I have some local stuff I like to listen to here in St. Louis. But, yeah, I left not shortly after Artie left. I stopped listening. I wanted to hear what they talked about when Artie left, quote. But, yeah, I stopped. It just wasn't the same show, and it just wasn't great. Hello, Forbin. A great thing you did is to clip the different Howard staff. It's a good refresher on the talent in the Stern Show family tree. Thank you very much, Forbin. Lance says, depends on what you pay, John. So I'm guessing that's a response to an earlier comment that I'm not going to read. I'm not going to read that comment about Stuttering John. I did have Stuttering John on this program, by the way, a long time ago. And then, you know what he did, by the way? This is for real. There was nothing wrong with that interview, by the way. It was all fluff. And he tried to shut my channel down, so I don't put that out there anymore. And I don't even like to talk about him, to be honest. Shuli does that and does a wonderful job. And congrats to Uncle Rico or whatever the name of the show. Anyway, Dennis, I miss Opie and Anthony. I got to be honest, never heard them. Never once. Never heard their show. Don't think it would have been what I would be listening to. Like Howard it was perfect. Like everything was great about it at the time. But I was not a fan. Stu, John has really gone off the deep end, all right? Here we get some more Spanish here. Te iba a pregunta, estás... Okay, you're going to have to put this into English. I'm sorry. I thank you so much, Juana. I love a roll call, too. I love to hear where people are from. So if you want to just throw that in the chat, and we'll talk about where you're from and what you're doing. We'll do some on this date, too. But people seem to just like to interact. So I like that, too. I'm wearing, by the way, my Bob Gibson jersey here. I don't know if you can see that. Bob Gibson out of 45. I want to talk about that for a second. Rest in peace, Bob. I don't know if I should ever go full with my body like that because I'm disgusting. But anyway, Foreman says, I wish Howard was on terrestrial radio. I would have it on every morning at work, and it was my routine. Podcasts you access anytime, leave out the immediacy of live radio. It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, there really is no, 9/11 show that they could do or you would listen to, but... hello, Stu. You're from New Hampshire. I used to listen and WBCN Boston. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the roll call. And New Hampshire's wonderful. Home of our president, correct? New Hampshire, right? No, Delaware. Shit. Strike 7, Brad. You're stupid. Was I in New Hampshire? Was I ever in New Hampshire? I don't know. I feel like I was there. Isn't it like Delaware, Vermont, New Hampshire? They're all right next to each other. I should know this shit. Anyway, I was there. I believe I was there. Beautiful area, I should say. I will say. Let's do another top song in this date. Yeah, I mentioned 1983. What a great year, right? And number 1 on this date for the first week in a row, Beat It by Michael Jackson. Eddie Van Halen played guitar on that. It was number 1 3 straight weeks. Right in between, or before this, Come On Eileen was number 1, but before that was Billie Jean. So Michael Jackson, ruling the world in 1983, Beat It, number 1 on this date in 1983. So again, I like to reset and say hello and welcome to those joining here live. So if you've never seen this, what we do is we talk about moments on the show of the Howard Stern Show. We talk sports. We look back at some things that happened on this date. We talk about the current state of the show and just the current state of anything. And then I take questions and I read the comments and we get jiggy with it. I just said that. Hello there. Let's see. Panic Buyer. When did everyone end their Sirius sub? I think it was 2016 for me. Yeah, so I had mentioned this earlier. I had it in 2006. I don't know how long I had it, but I realized you could download from other sites. I'm always looking. I actually just found a new place to download. I'm not going to talk about it, but I do like to have on demand. Like I want the whole year 2008, and there was some areas you could find that, but it seems to have gone away. But I've found a site that's got some stuff, so maybe we'll share that at some point. So yeah, I only had my subscription for a little bit, but I stopped listening full time in 2010. I can say that. Delaware is nowhere near New Hampshire. We are in New England. There's really nothing here. Okay, sorry, Stu. Panic Buyer says same. I'm guessing 2016. Hello, Mr. Mofongo. Austin, Texas. Retired musician, currently residing in the beautiful southern region. I gotta say, Mr. Mofongo, thank you. I didn't know you were retired, so congrats. I am excited for one day to be retired. I can't wait for that day. I will do more of this. Like this would be what I would do every day. I would love to do this. I have to work, so I can't really do this during the day. But Austin, Texas, we were going to take a trip to Austin, Texas this January, and we didn't, but we want to. So maybe we'll meet up sometime. We're definitely going to check out Austin at some point. And my pal David Freeze is down there. Cardinal, great, lives down there with his beautiful family. So if you ever see Mr. Freeze, say hello from me, Mr. Mofongo. Ross's Dog's Broken Spirit. Hello there, Ross. Thank you. You should be wearing the 1980s Willie McGee jersey. Okay, well, let's see. You come back to the next live show, and I bet I could possibly get that together. And I think we'll do one Thursday. So live Thursday. Come on back, everybody. We'll try and do this on Thursday. I'll upload some more classic content. I call it classic content, yes, repurposed. But thank you, Ross. King, Steve Luke. Toto actually played the riff on Beat It. Only Eddie did only solo. I did not know that. So then that guy, where did I just hear this? But that guy was like a session musician, right? The guy for Toto, like he did all kinds of, like he's considered one of the greatest session guitar player. I don't know. I could be all completely ruining that. Do New Englanders argue which state is better, New Hampshire, Vermont, or Maine? That's a good question. Thank you, Forbin. I'll let the chatters kind of get in that one. I don't know the answer to that. Stu, nah, but we all agree we hate Massachusetts. Okay. Don't we all hate Massachusetts? We all hate Boston, right? I mean, just the accent and the always winning at sports and just very, very important. Don't like people from, I like people from Boston. We had a great time during the Super Bowl in 2002 in New Orleans. Shit-faced in New Orleans, just enjoying the Rams getting ready to win the Super Bowl, and we were just up the Patriots' ass fans, and they're like, oh no, it'll be fine. And then the Patriots went on to be a dynasty, and we lost our football team. We suck. 0.0, says Al C. Thank you very much for that. So that reminds me, you can go to my shirt shop, which is in the description. Go into the description, and I have a shirt that says that. You want a 0.0 shirt? Go to my shirt shop, set it up. Also got super chats. And so you can just say, hey, Brad, thank you for doing this. We love being here on a Monday. Our day was shit. I had the Sunday scaries. I didn't want to work, but you're making it better by being here live, talking to us, talking baseball. And so that's part of this. So thank you very much. So I like to talk baseball a little bit. Anybody watch Cardinals, Mets? Huh? Cardinals? Look at the Cardinals. They've won 2 series in a row. Almost 500. Brewers had a rough run against the Yankees. I think the NL Central Division's up for grabs, huh? Anyway, Yankees look pretty good. Good weekend for them. Thoughts on the Rolling Stone article about Artie from Ross? Is this a new article, or is this when the reporter sat in his house and I guess, didn't he call her some names and made her sit on the couch or something? Oh, I thought it was a great article. Rhode Island just exists. Nobody I know ever goes there, but yes, we're all Red Sox fans, says Stu. I gotta say, so I flew over Rhode Island and spent like a half a day there. I thought it was beautiful. I'm like, wow, it's very green here. So I wasn't there long. What is the capital there? Rhode Island. Dover? That's Delaware. I don't know. But I liked it. Mr. Mofongo, I thought the Cards might sweep the Mets. Had my broom out. Nah, when they won the first 2 games and they used their bullpen, like they've got these 3 guys now that are really good. So I knew they wouldn't be available Sunday, so I did not have hopes for a sweep. I have to say that. I heard, hello, Panic. I heard that some massive downtown high rise in St. Louis just sold for $4 million. Do you know about this? Of course I know about this. So the World Street Journal just came in and ran around downtown and just said it's a shithole. Yeah, it could be right. But you know what? I don't like that. We can say that when we're from here, but we don't want these dickheads from New York coming in writing about it. But yes, the AT&T building, built in 1986. It's like a 60-story high-rise, one of the tallest buildings. And there's nobody there. AT&T, moved to Dallas, and so now it's an empty building. But every city has that, so I don't like this bullshit doom loop crap. I don't like the city. I'm mad. We have terrible leaders and terrible leadership. And what was the last thing that they? Oh yeah, camera. We're gonna put up red light cameras, so that's gonna stop all the people getting hit. Because people will stop because they think they're gonna get a ticket. But anyway, so yes, that was an article. Panic. Hit piece, just like that Artie Rolling Stone piece. Like I just don't like when, like I said, when people come in here and then look around and then write these shit articles. There's a lot to do downtown. Sometimes there's not, but sometimes there is. So thank you for asking. Ross, Dog's Broken Spirit, the one the C word reporter wrote. Yeah, that was pretty. This is just a good story. Did I even read that article? That was the Artie Lange Rolling Stone article that Ross is referring to. Panic, I like STL. Okay, thank you very much. Where are you from, Panic? Why would you like STL? As you can see, I'm a fan, right? When it gets quiet here, I like to look back on this date. We haven't done that yet. But we were talking about Cabbie, and let me look here. In 2002, this date, there was the Cabbie versus Stuttering John fight. So we were talking about Cabbie, and that's what happened on this date. They also had Courtney Love call in. But we were talking about the Biden interview, and this was what happened in 1998. So he just had President Biden on, what was it, April 29th? April 29th, 1998, not 25 years ago. Hank the Angry Dwarf was on. Daniel Carver did movie reviews. They did The Homeless Game. So a different show back in 1998. It's just interesting, right? Hello, Panic Buyer. Houston, and it sucks. I gotta say, Houston is one of my least favorite cities I've ever been to. So I used to travel with the Cardinals, so I would go to all these cities, and I like to take them in and kind of look around. And I had a good time in Houston. I can say that. The bus stop, is that still there? That's a bar, bus, something. It was open late. I had a good time, but man, the humidity was so fucking terrible. I couldn't handle it. I hate humidity. It's hot here, or humid today. Brad should do the roll call of the chat. Is Lisa G still in shock? Nobody knew roll call. Last time I did do the roll call. Did I not? Didn't we do the roll call? I can't remember how it goes again. It's Dre, Ed, Lisa, and Dre. Where you calling from? Where you be? I don't remember. That was a great time on the show when they made fun of her, and they did it, and they were waving their hands. Hello, Andre. Yo, dude, what's up? Gonzo, nice jersey. Thank you very much. Andre, do a rap about feet. I don't rap. I can't rap. Sorry about that. Stu, one of Party's best lines was one of Artie's best lines when asked Cabbie, he said, "It's the mark of the samurai." I did it last night while I had conversation with my end table. I don't remember that. Just making sure I'm not missing any comments as I scroll down. So we had a nice crowd here today. Let me see here. Let's do another. 2004 on this date. Crazy Cabbie was on the Stern Show, and he was talking about he did staff revelations. He was trying out for Stuttering John's job. I don't remember him being part of the Wins John job contest, although I don't remember much of that contest anyway. I knew Richard and Sal were going to win it. Brad, hello, Brad. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. Hey, that's sweet. Thanks. Nice. People are nice when you're live. When you're not live, they just fire shots at your comment section. But that's fine. I even try to get into the comments that people write, and I like to say hello, and I appreciate people coming through here. Just messing with you, bud. All right, Andre, I can't rap. I appreciate that. Ross, thoughts on the idiotic take the pitch clock is responsible for injuries? Yeah, that is the dumbest. I mean, my dad used to say it. I hate to say it, but baseball players should be wearing dresses. Like, they're pansies. Like, everything. Oh, my arm. Now, I will say, Tyler Glass now had this wonderful like sermon on why you need sticky stuff on the baseball, and it does hurt. He's always hurt. Isn't he hurt again? I think Tyler Glass now just got hurt. Anyway, pitcher for the Dodgers. But he was saying that you need the sticky stuff because the ball's too slick and it makes you hold the ball harder, it screws up your arm. That was an interesting way of saying, but the pitch clock, come on, it's not the pitch clock. Nobody in this chat para-jumped into a hot LZ in Panama. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Ross. But again, we're going to try to do these on Mondays and Thursdays, maybe? Is that the goal? We're going to do these on Mondays and Thursdays? Okay. 1981, by the way, #1 song on this date. Oh my God, I had this record, folks. Morning Train, 9 to 5 by Sheena Easton. What happened to her? Am I getting bit by a spider? I feel like I'm getting bit by a damn spider. Do I have spiders in my studio? I don't know. Cabbie beat Fred and win Fred's money. That was amazing. Tom refused to pay Cabbie the $10,000, Mr. Mofongo. I do remember that. That was crazy. Fred never lost, but Cabbie beat him. Do you think Buster Posey is a better catcher than Molina? Gonzo says. No, I don't. Now, I am wearing Cardinal jerseys, and I watched way more games of Yadier Molina. But Posey was more of a hitter anyway. Molina changed the game. You couldn't run on him. Like, that's what I didn't even realize this the other day. The Cardinals, they were playing. They've thrown out one base runner. I think they've had 22 stolen bases against them, and only one has been thrown out. Molina, it would be like flip that. You would have 22 thrown out and one. Like, you couldn't steal on Yachty. The pitchers didn't have to think. And then he could hit a little bit. Like, he actually had some big hits. So I get pissed off that people don't even, like, when like national people outside are like, oh, Molina's not a Hall of Famer. Listen, I can tell you who is and who isn't. Molina's a fucking Hall of Famer. He was the best catcher I've ever seen. Just ask anybody who played with him. Ask anybody who played against him. He's great when there's 6 or 7 different cities that boo every time he comes to the plate. So he clearly did some stuff against the Brewers and against the Reds and against the Mets and against the Astros. So, Molina's better than Posey, I would say. But thank you for your question. Tony Pena is greater than Buster Posey and Molina combined. Come on, Ross, you don't believe that. By the way, Tony Pena never threw anybody out. I mean, he was all about the fucking leg out. It was all flash with him. I love Tony Pena too, by the way. But he was good at marketing himself, clearly. Dutch Dalton better than all of them, Ross says. All right, rest in peace, Dutch. I did like Darren Dalton. That guy was a nut. I love the Phillies in the 90s. Len Dykstra, Kurt Schilling. They had one big guy too. But the Phillies in the 90s had some nuts. Lance. Notice how MLB went silent on the egg roll gambling in LA. Veritek was great and Fisco's the best. Lance has a lot of thoughts there. By the way, I came here early on and said I believe Shohei, and I still do. And I have a thought for you guys to think about. ESPN is where we heard all the information about Shohei Ohtani and his gambling, right? And they were very excited, the reporter, to go out and talk about Shohei, and we've covered all this stuff in his accounts and blah, blah, blah. And who did they talk to? They talked to his interpreter twice. And the interpreter, who did the interpreter talk to? Shohei's agent, Shohei's crisis team. Did that reporter ever talk to Shohei? Did they get maybe an independent reporter to talk to Shohei? No. I think they have a little egg on their face, and that's why I always sort of believed Shohei. I'm like, now there's some weird shit going on, but when you put the pieces together and you look at the timeline, they never, ever talked to Shohei. No one did. They just went to the interpreter. The interpreter went to the agent. The interpreter went to and then changed the story, but no one ever talked to Shohei. How? And then he got blackballed. So anyway, that's my little take on Shohei. Thank you for listening. Veritek was a great, and Fisk was the best. So Lance is clearly a Red Sox folk. I don't know about Veritek, although he kind of messed around with all the reporters up there, didn't he? Like, that was his deal. Lance, see the text back and forth for the bookie. It would have ruined the league. Well, but the texts are not from Shohei. I believe they're from the interpreter. And I believe, like at one point, he said, "Hey, I see Shohei walking around, threatening to tell Shohei, I'm gonna take care of Shohei." I mean, that is what I saw. Anyway, we are at 40 minutes. I could keep going for a few more minutes. Again, I love that you come here and you give me likes and thanks and subscribe and please subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Again, maybe we'll do this on Mondays and Thursdays. How does that sound? Does that sound like enough? Do I need to do more? Like I said, I mean, if I was retired like our friend, who's retired? I forgot. Who's our guy in Austin? Is it Mofongo? I believe it's Mofongo. If I was retired, I would love to do this all day. But I have to work. I have shit to do. And I don't want to do it. I got to be honest. There's a lot of shit I don't want to do. Thanks, Lance. All right, Mondays and Thursdays. So just plan on it. Maybe I'll schedule them. It might be a little after 4 p.m. Central. I don't know. Might be a little after. I'm just kind of surprised my Aunt Cindy's not here. She's always here lurking. I don't see her in here, though. Gonzo, I was talking about Benji Molino. What? No, Benji Molino, he was a nice guy, good catcher. But anyway. And hopefully, we'll get Sparky back here, my co-host. I feel a little, when the co-host isn't here, it just doesn't feel the same. But he's upstairs, and he's feeling good. Now, some people didn't enjoy the co-host, and that's fine. Actually, he's the host. King asked, "Where's Elliot often?" I don't know. That's a good question, though, and people ask me all the time, "Hey, get it." So, by the way, I do need to mention this. I wanted to make sure I mentioned this. I sent out some feelers today for some other folks that we've talked about here in the chat. I don't have Elliot's any information for him, so if you have some, send it my way. I'm not sure I want to interview him, but I would be interested to just kind of talk to him. The hardest one there she is. Hello, Aunt Cindy. Thanks, God. I knew my Aunt Cindy wouldn't let me down. Sparky's doing okay, Cindy, in case you're wondering. But you've been watching the whole time. Let's see. Anything else? So Mondays, Thursdays, we talked about that. That's good. We did a little on this date. We talked about Crazy Cabbie. Talked some baseball. We did some music. We did a lot. We got a lot accomplished in a little bit of time. Again, I don't need to wrap up. I don't have anywhere to go yet, so we can hang out here a little bit longer. I like the questions about sports because I have comments about that. I was thinking about today, by the way. Anybody homeowners out there? Anybody? Okay, so I am. I've been a homeowner a long time. 5 or 6 different homes. But now I'm like an old man homeowner. So when things are bad with the house, I'm like, God damn it, I got to fix that. Shit, that's going to cost some money. So I saw this guy, I was taking a little stroll today, and I saw this fence all busted up. And it reminded me, like when I was a kid, my neighbor's house, I would throw a baseball against their fence, and it just like bowed like this. I can't believe they let me do that. Like, I effed up their fence. Like, it's just... Now I'd be like, "Hey, you can't do that." Neither my father nor my neighbors seemed to care, though, so that was okay, I guess. But so Elliot Offen, I'm gonna write that down. Does anybody, like I said, does anybody have contact information? Cindy, you got any contact information for Elliot Offen? I don't even know if he does. Does he do stuff out there? But reminder, as always, please subscribe. I appreciate you folks coming in. Hit the like button. Turn on notifications so you can see when we're going live here. And Cardinals have the Tigers for 3. We got Jack Flaherty on the mound against the Cardinals Tuesday night. I'm looking forward to that. What's that going to be like? I still don't think the Cardinals have enough offense. That's all I got, I think. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. We'll try to come back on Thursday. Let's plan on that. Let's have a good day. Hope everybody had a wonderful Monday. And we'll talk about how our week went on Thursday. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. We'll see you next time.